Hey everyone, and welcome back to In the Studio with Ophelia. I'm Ophelia, and thank you all so much for joining me today for our very first video of 2023. Happy 2023 to all of you, and thank you all so much for joining me in the studio on this artistic, playful, creative journey. You are new here. In the Studio is just a place where we gather together, play with art supplies, and just have a lot of fun. We create bad art, we create great art, we learn some things, but I'm just a lover of art supplies and the art supplies that are quality for a great price, that get your job done. And so in this space, we just play with art and art supplies. So if you enjoy this kind of content, please give this video a thumbs up. If you have been here, thank you for continuing to hit play, for continuing with the likes, for continuing with the comments. I truly appreciate every single one of you. And when I say it just makes my heart so happy that you guys are here. And for all the newbies out there that just took a chance to hit play here, welcome to the In the Studio family. Would love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when all of this uploads. For our first video of the year, I thought it would be great to get my journal, and not just any journal, but we're trying out a different journal. And let's just grab our materials and journal our word for the year. You know, that word that carries us through the year, or that word that is our goal for the year, or wish for the year, or what we want to be more of for the year. Whatever that word is, and whatever word resonates with you. And maybe I'm not going to judge if you have 2 words or 3 words or lots of words. It's totally up to you. I usually have, I start thinking about it, and then things start brewing, and then I come up with a list of words, and then I narrow those words down, and I think about it some more, and it's just a process. But however you wish to choose your word or words, grab your supplies, grab your journal. I shall flip the camera around, and let's start playing together, creating our journal page spread for our word of the year. Once again, I will leave all of the materials that I use down in the description box. I would love for you all to let me know what your selected word is for this year. And if you've already done such a journal page, or maybe you're going to do it with me, and I would just love for you to share with me what your word of the year is. Once again, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to stop talking and let's get to playing in our journals. Bye guys. So this is my sketchbook where I've put some stickers on and just kind of moved into it. I honestly don't remember. Okay, so yes, I do. September 5th, 2022 is when I kind of started it. And because of the way the paper felt, I thought I would just use it for drawing practice, where of course there would be zero pressure, and I'd gotten a book and I was just kind of playing around with learning to draw. Not doing a great job, but it dawned on me that the paper is pretty good to handle light washes of inks and such like that. So I did like this guy when I was testing some watercolors, and it did not bleed through or destroy the papers at all. So I got a little excited, and let's see here. I thought I would try to throw some journaling at this guy. What I'm loving, honestly, is that it lies flat. And so for today, I'm going to try to work across the spread. I've got some matte medium. I've got some gesso. I have my 700B Polar Flow. I believe this one is the inch. And just some random bits of collage papers that I'm going to rip up and glue down and see if I can prep these pages like I would in my mixed media journal or such like that. I think what kind of got me pretty excited was when I tried doing like pen test, and I just tried watercolor, even though the paper feels pretty, it feels absorbent, so I thought that it would not be able to take it, and it did pretty well. So I did this entire page in like with just a wash of watercolor, as I always put my shopping list of things that I need on the back page, and it really did a great job with the watercolor. So that kind of got me excited, and because the one that I'm currently using is just not water friendly at all. No matter how light of a wash I use, it just kind of destroys the paper. So I just wanted to see how far we can push this guy. And again, I just it's little things, but I literally just love that it's pretty flat and I can work across. I am still looking for my perfect journal, and I will make sure that you guys are with me when we find it, because it's going to be us together going through all of the sketchbooks to find one that I just love. So I am going to go ahead and start ripping paper up and gessoing some paper to the background, and let's just see if it's going to destroy it or if things are going to work out well. I have I usually keep like some sort of file folder or something on hand to kind of slide behind the pages so that I won't mess up all the other pages back here. So Ophelia stops talking and let's get started. The paper feels pretty absorbent, which is kind of why it tricked me into thinking that it would not hold light washes. And most of the time, there are sketchbooks that I've tried before that will specifically say for dry media only, but then it still does really well with just light washes of watercolor, because I just love being able to swatch colors in my sketchbook. So that's always a plus, and it doesn't bother me at all if the paper kind of wrinkles a bit or such like that. I just like to be able to swatch my watercolors. If I get something new, or if I don't really know what I want to do in my sketchbook, my default is always to just swatch. So I am just going to randomly continue. I think I have everything glued down in a manner that's totally fine with me. And instead of letting this layer dry before I go in with the gesso, I'm a little too excited. So let's just go for it. And I literally did not even clean the glue off of my brush. However, I am gonna dunk my brush in a little bit of water because I do want to knock back a lot of the different text, but I don't want to obliterate everything that's underneath. And I'm gonna put this guy back under. And this will either be lots of fun opportunities that await, or a complete and utter disaster. So I do know I want to just let it dry naturally without trying to use any sort of heat tool, and see how it's going after that. I feel as though it's going to work out well because the paper did not feel fragile at all. So there have been times I've tried this before and I could feel the sketchbook paper shredding as I was trying to put something wet on it. So I am hopeful. Nervousness. Alrighty. I am going to let it take a bit and dry up. I'm gonna take some of that back out. Okay. I'm gonna let it dry up a bit, and we will get ready to throw everything that we can at this guy when I come back. Now that it's all spread out in front of me, I'm not sure if I want to work across the entire spread. Oh, because now I feel like it's a whole lot of territory to cover. So I will stop. I will let it dry up. I'm gonna grab some paints and we'll get going once it's all done. Once everything is dried up and the pages are nice and firm and protected, and they have just such a heft about them, and that's why I honestly love doing the gesso and doing the gluing down of papers, because it just gives the sketchbook such body that I feel it needs to support everything that I'm gonna throw at it. Once everything is dried up, I'm just using my Lucas watercolors. And for this page in particular, I am using colors that will kind of play into the paint colors that I plan to use. Normally, I just kind of pull out paints and or watercolor and just kind of go and play around. But I do know that I want to use some reds and oranges and yellows, and here I am with Lucas acrylic paints in Indian yellow, titanium white. I have rose, cad orange, that's cad orange medium, and carmine. And so I'm just going to build this page like any other page. What's pretty odd is this is a lot of territory, or more than I just remember using on a journal page. So it feels like it takes me forever to just kind of get the background built the way that I want. I'm so used to just working on one side of the page. But I just love being able to work my way completely across the spread. Once my acrylic paints are dry, I then just start looking for ephemera or collage. And I've just pulled a jelly printed paper that was sitting underneath my desk. And this is where, for me, it's the fun, but yet the stress, because I do love just auditioning different papers and seeing what I can use. And I've got a dictionary page here from a collage pack, and um, it's a lot of fun, but then I just let it, sometimes I just let it get the best of me. And so I'm just going to use my watercolor paints to color that dictionary page. I'm still using that number 2 Harmony Squirrel quill brush, and I just want to color that dictionary page with some of the watercolors, just so that everything kind of flows together and it's not so stark. I'm cleaning up that watercolor paint off my desk with my Soho wipes. I'm now finding I just can't live without those. And then I'm still auditioning, kind of seeing what I want to do, and I find this Donna Downey Nimber stencil. I will try to link it below. Me and my handwriting, I don't know why. It's fine. Literally. Because I have a grand idea that I'm just gonna like use the stencil and stencil out the big 2023 for 2023. That whole measure twice, cut once, I'd never paid attention to that clearly, because I just go right in with like stenciling out the numbers, only to realize, and I see it as I get to the last 2, that I'm not going to have enough space. And I don't know why I thought that the paper was going to grow along with the stencil. So I just kept going, and nope, then we started all over again. But I'm using the stencil to just make it a different font. Okay, here I am now. We're starting all over again, because clearly I didn't think that through. So now I'm just doing it all in reverse. I'm doing the 2023 on a large piece of paper first, and then I will cut it down to the size that's necessary. Once I get this all stenciled out, or with the pencil and the number stenciled out, and I just figured I wanted to use it just because the font was different and just not my plain handwriting. Now I cut it out, and I use the watercolors again to add color to the page. This time you notice that I took that Aqua Mist spray bottle and just sprayed the dictionary paper first, just to have the colors kind of move a bit before they soak into the paper. Once I get that all dried up, I'm now auditioning my word for the year. And you know what? Clearly I did not put a lot of thought into this, and I'm thinking on the fly, and it turns out fine, but eh, my word for the year, ta-da, it's authentic. And I just found a font. I'm now, this is why, just trust your handwriting, some Ophelia, or learn different fonts for your handwriting. But I just printed this out on copier paper, and I just printed it in a large enough font to make its way across the page. And I just wanted to audition that first before I went back to the letters. And I'm using the concept markers, and they're alcohol-based markers, so I have just a scrap pad of paper so that, because I've done it before, I won't let the marker soak through to the surface of my desk. And, again, a lot of times I show up and I don't, I just do things on the fly, and now I'm realizing like how much extra I did, because I totally could have just traced the stencil right onto the colored paper with the marker instead of the pencil step. But it's we live and we learn, and this is what's great about this whole art journey. I won't make the paper too short mistake ever again, and I will probably, yeah, let's be honest, I'll probably do it again and again and again and again. So I trace everything through the stencil with the marker, and then just go back in and get everything cut down to where it now finally fits that piece of paper. And I like it better than just using my handwriting. Now here we go again with, lesson learned in hindsight. So I have the printout of my word of the year, and what I decided to do was use some pan pastels and the good old-fashioned transfer trick of just, putting pan pastels on the backside and then tracing over it. Probably, I don't know, a billion times simpler would have been to use just the regular graphite transfer paper, but I wanted to leave the font as it is sketched out and not filled in, and I did not want the graphite to be too strong, where just the gray pan pastel was its chalk. And so I could and if I would have found a piece of chalk before I put my hands on the pan pastels, that's what I would have used. But it just felt softer than the very bold graphite. And all of this was at the time, because I then still go over it with a like a black fine liner, because I don't want it all to eventually blow away or smear away. And I don't want to go through like having to set it with any sort of fixative. So I do go over everything with a black fine liner. But I just feel as though, and thank goodness, as I looked, it was all transferred. And I do like that it was softer, not so glaring in your face. And it almost, when I went over it with the fine liner, it almost made me feel like it was kind of blurred in the back, which I like that still far better. And yes, it was definitely a whole lot of extra steps, but I do like the effect that the pan pastels or a chalk, if you don't have pan pastels, would do to transfer it, because then it was just far more softer and dreamier back there than just the graphite transfer paper. So I'm still glad that I did it this way, even though it took such a long time. But you know, I never come in with a plan, and a lot of times this is what happens when I don't come in with a plan. So I am just going over that transfer, and again, just a different font, but I'm going over that transfer with the pen, and I want to leave that font as it is. And you know, here we are again, just auditioning things and not measuring things, and all I did was take that piece of paper, dictionary paper that I had left over, and painted it with some paint, and now I'm just gonna glue things down. The thing that I like to do is not come in with a plan, and a lot of times, man, oh man, that's kind of the death of me. But then again, it's okay, because it always ends up working out. And if not, I mean, like, it's our sketchbook, you know, it's our playground. It's us just learning and doing and just having fun. So if maybe it doesn't work out necessarily the way that I think it's going to, but in the end, it's a lesson. And so this year, my word for the year is authentic and growth. And this lovely page just signifies all of that I want to do. I want to authentically grow in my art, not trying to force it, just have a lot of fun and practice it to where I'm not fighting it or it doesn't feel awkward. Here I'm just getting some collage just to kind of fill in the space, because I love the working across the spread, but it's territory. So I'm just digging through this pile of ephemera and gluing things down because that's what's comfortable. And in all honesty, this was not even a page of trying to be perfect and make it beautiful. This is just literally me having fun, playing around with my toys, trying something different, and learning along the way. And I hope that's what you guys enjoy here, and I hope that you'll take that in as you work on your creative practice as well. It's all about just literally playing and having fun, and I don't care what it ends up looking like. I'm just having fun. And that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.